everyone, my name is Naveen Malik and welcome to my YouTube channel Data Architect Diaries. So here is the thing, everybody out there is teaching you how to build a lake house. Use data lake, use iceberg, use delta lake, go serverless and that's a great. But nobody, and I mean nobody is talking about what happens 6 months later when your CFO walks in and said, why is your cloud bill 4 times what we budgeted? That's what today's video is about. This is the Lakehouse Cost Optimization Masterclass. We are going to rip open in the hood and look at the real cost. Not the marketing slides, not real ones, where your money is actually going, why compute costs are eating you alive, and exactly what you can do about it. If you have ever started at a Databricks or Snowflake invoice and thought this cannot be the right, this video is for you. So stick around and let's get into it. So let's start with what we were all promised. Lakehouse architecture was supposed to give us the best of both worlds. The cheap scalable storage of data lake plus the structure and query performance of a data warehouse. Sound amazing, right? And honestly, the storage part is cheaper. If you are just parking data in object storage S3, ADLS and GCS, you are paying pennies per gigabyte. That part is real. But here is where reality hits you. Storage is only about 10 to 20% of your total lakehouse bill. The other 80 to 90%, that's a compute. That's your Spark cluster spinning up, your SQL warehouse crunching queries, your notebook running transformation. So think of it like buying a house. Yeah, you got a great deal on the property, but the electricity, the water, the maintenance, the renovation, that's it where the money goes month after month after month. And that's the dirty secret of lake house architecture that nobody on YouTube wants to talk about. I want you to picture an iceberg. At the top, the part you can see, that's your storage cost. Nice and visible and easy to understand. A few $1,000 maybe. But below the waterline, this is where the monster live. Let me walk you through what's hidden down there. First, compute sprawl. You have got dev cluster, staging cluster, and production clusters. Half of time these are running even when nobody using them. I have seen companies where ideal cluster were burning 40% of their compute budget. 40% just matching sitting there. Spring doing absolutely nothing. The second one is small file problem. This is a classic one. Your streaming ingestion is dumping thousands of tiny files into your lakehouse. Every time you query, the engine has to open each of those files individually. It's like trying to read a book that's been shredded into confetti. Your query engine is spending more time opening files than actually reading data. The third one, over partitioning. Some of you on your team read a blog post about partitioning and went wide. They partitioning by date, by region, by customer, by product category. Now you have got millions of tiny partitions and every query triggers a massive metadata scan. The fourth one, zombie pipeline. These are jobs that someone built 6 months ago for a one-time analysis, but they are still running on a daily schedule. So nobody owns them, nobody reviews them, but they are very much still costing your money. Alright, so now that we understand where the money goes, let me give you the 5 strategies that actually work. These are not theoretical, these are things I have implemented in real production environment and I have seen them cut cost by 30 to 60%. Killer number one, right size your compute. Stop using one size fits all cluster. Your ETL workload need beefy machine with lots of memory. Your ad hoc query need first startup and auto termination. Your ML training needs GPU and each workload should have its own compute profile. Size exactly for what it does. And please set auto termination in 10 minutes or less. I cannot tell you how many companies are running cluster 24/7 for workload that only run for 2 hours a day. Second killer number two, file compaction and optimization. Run optimize command regularly on your delta or iceberg table. This takes all those tiny files and merge them into right size files, typically around 128 to 256 megabyte each. All one project just running optimize on your top 20 tables reduce query cost by 35%. 35% from one command. And also use gOrder or liquid clustering on your most queried columns. This physically co-locates related data so the engine can skip irrelevant files entirely. Pillar number 3, caching and materialization strategy. Not every query needs to hit raw data every single time. Identify your hot tables, the one that get queried hundreds of times a day, and materialize them. Create aggregate tables. Use result caching. If 200 analysts are all running the same revenue by region query, you should compute that once and serve it from a cache layer. So no compute it 200 times. Next discuss about killer number 4, governance and tagging. This is the boring one, but it might be the most important. Tag every resource, every cluster, every job, every pipeline with a team name, a project and a cost center. If you can attribute a cost to a team, you cannot hold anyone accountable. And if nobody accountable, nobody care about optimization. So set up alert when a team is spend exceeds their budget by 20%. They should know about it that day, not at the end of the month. And the killer number 5, query optimization and push down. This is where your SQL actually save money. Predicate push down, column pruning, and avoid a select star. These are not just best practice. They directly translate to compute saving. So every unnecessary column you read, every full table scan you trigger, that's the money. And I have seen single queries that cost $50 per run because someone forgot a where clause. Running 10 times a day, that's a $500 a day, $15,000 a month, and from one query. Let me show you some real numbers. I am going to compare a typical unoptimized lakehouse versus one where we have applied these 5 strategies. In the unoptimized version, let's say you are processing 10 terabytes of data daily. You are looking at maybe $45,000 to $65,000 per month in total cost. Storage is maybe $3,000 to $5,000 of that. The rest all compute. After optimization, same data, same business outcome, $18,000 to $28,000 per month. That's a 50 to 60% reduction. And the biggest saving come from, guess what? Compute right sizing and file optimization, no storage and never storage. Now, these numbers will vary based on your cloud provider, your platform, your data volumes, but the ratios are consistent. I have seen this pattern on at startup processing a few terabyte and an enterprise processing petabyte. The proportions stay the same. Okay, so how do you actually implement all of this? Let me give you my 4-phase framework. I call it MARS: measure, analyze, remedy, and sustain. Phase 1 is measure. You cannot optimize what you cannot see. Before you change anything, set up cost observability. Tag everything, build dashboard that show cost by team, by workload, by pipeline. Most of the cloud platforms give you this data. You just have to actually look at it. Second one is analyze. Now look at the data and find the outliers, the top 10 most expensive queries, the cluster with the lowest utilization, the table with the worst file size. So in my expertise, 80% of your cost problem come from 20% of your workload. So find those 20% first. Third one is remediate. This is where you apply the 5 killer. We just talked about the right size compute, optimize file, implement caching, enforce governance, and fix queries. So start with the quick wins. Auto termination and file compaction alone usually save 20 to 30%. The last phase was sustain. This is where most teams fail. They do a one-time optimization, celebrate, and then go back to their old habits. So within 6 months, cost creep right back up. You need ongoing monitoring, monthly cost review, and this is the key. Make cost efficient part of your engineering culture. So every code review should ask, what does this cost to run? So before I wrap up, let me hit you with the top mistakes I see teams making again and again. First one is optimize storage first. I get it, storage is visible and easy to understand. But if you spend 2 weeks compressing your Parquet file to save a $500 a month on storage, while ignoring the $30,000 you are wasting on compute, you have completely missed the point. Second one is not monitoring after optimization. Like I said, cost creep back, new team member join, they spin up new cluster, they don't know the rules. So without continuous monitoring, entropy wins every time. Third one is treating all data the same. Your hot data, the stuff queried daily, needs different optimization than your core data that queried once a month. Tear your storage, tear your compute, tear your caching. The one stage does not fit all. The last one, for ignoring data lifecycle. If you have got 3 years of detailed transaction data and nobody queried anything older than 90 days, why is it sitting on the premium hot storage? Move it, archive it, and or delete it if you can. Data holding is expensive. So let me leave you with three things so you can do right now, today, this week to start saving money. First one is go check your cluster auto termination setting. I bet you have at least one cluster that set never terminate that fix that one. Second one, run optimize command on your five largest delta or iceberg table. Just do it. You will see immediately query performance improvement and cost saving. Third one is pull your last month cloud bill and break it down by compute versus storage. If compute is more than 70% of your total, and it probably is, you know where to focus. The last one I need to say, that's it for today Lakehouse Cost Optimization Masterclass. If this helped you, smash that like button, subscribe to the Data Architect Diary and hit the bell so you never miss an episode. Drop a comment below. I want to know where is your biggest lakehouse cost pain point. I read every single comment and I will try to address your specific scenario in future videos. I will see you in the next one. Until then, keep building, keep optimizing and keep your CFO happy. And thank you and take care.